I would like to say we understand that we're living in a world that we built with our own hands, with our intellect, with the knowledge and the wisdom that the Most High has given us. When we look at a lot of the buildings that we see today, whether it's in America, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in the UK, throughout the whole world, we built these with our hands. And when I say we, I'm talking about our people. And then when you look at a lot of inventions that we have today, we created these things. When you look at the washing machine, when you look at even something simple as a water gun, when you look at broadband, the reason why we have Zoom, we have YouTube, we have all of these things today is because someone that looked like me and you invented broadband, fiber optics. So we have so many things that we as a people created, but we as a people are not benefiting from it. The reason why a lot of our lives are easier today is because we created it. But we created it out of pain, out of struggle, out of agony. Where do the greatest thinking come from? It's when you're alone. It's when there's no one there next to you, is where you can connect to the Creator and He can give you inspiration. When we look at the scriptures and how the Most High interacted with His people, He interacted with them when they were alone, not when they were surrounded by so many people, not when they were overcome by their family. Is when they were in the wilderness. It was when they were alone when the Most High spoke to them the most. And some of us may be frustrated because we know who we are as a people. We've come to the understanding of who we are as a people. But however, according to how people perceive us, we are at the bottom.
Right.
We are at the bottom. We are not considered, to some people, we're not considered humans. We're not considered intelligent. We're not considered to be on other quote unquote type of people's level. But we know who we are, Mishpika. We know where we come from. We know our intelligence. Did you know, Mishpika, in Africa, you can find every type of people. You can find the tallest, you can find the shortest, you can find the smartest, and unfortunately, you can find the opposite. You can find any type of person you're looking for in the world, you can find it in Africa. We have different shades. It's not just this complexion. You have darker pigmentation and a lighter pigmentation. I'm saying this to say this. We as a people, majority of what we see today comes from us, but we as a people are not benefiting from it. We are actually circumstance of it. We suffer because of it, actually, right? You have labor today where you're laboring for someone, you're being paid peanuts. You're not being paid your worth. When you look at the other counterpart that don't look like you and they're doing the exact same job, they're being paid more. And we live in a world where we know we can't take things into our actual own hands, but we have to trust the Most High that He will come through for us. And guess what? He does. But what I say all of that to say this, I wanted to continue the part of where they left off with the Shema, which is Deuteronomy 6:10. Deuteronomy 6:10. And this is what the Most High is telling us. He's telling us, look, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. So the same way we have built this world and we are not benefiting from it, guess what the Most High said? And it shall be when Yahuah, your Elohim, brings you into the land of which He swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Yaakov, and to give you a great and good cities which you did not build, and houses filled with all kinds of goods which you did not fill, and wells dug which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Be on guard lest you forget forget Yahuah, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim from the house of bondage. The reason why, Mishpachah, we're in the place we are in today is because our forefathers forgot what what Abba did for them. If I, as a father, when one day I become a father, I forget what Abba did for me, my child will suffer because of that. Because we must understand what we do today will determine how our children live. So that's the same with our ancestors. What they did to yesterday determine how we live today. So we as a mishpachah, now we're knowing who we are, we need to go forward. And we need to understand there will be a time where we'll be given the land, we'll be given the houses, we'll be given the goods. But until then, we need to do as Abba Yahuah says. And this is what he says. Fear Yahuah, your Elohim, and serve him, and swear by his name. Do not go after other mighty ones, the mighty ones of the people who are all around you, which means everyone else have their own gods. Let them deal with their own gods. But we know that our Abba, he is the creator of all things. The other gods, the mighty ones, or whoever they might call them, they were created by hands. They were created by imagination. They were created by things that Abba Yahuah created. For Yahuah, your Elohim, is he's a jealous Elohim in your midst, lest he be displeasured, lest the displeasure of Yahuah, your Elohim, burn against you, then he shall destroy you from the face of the earth. Do not try Yahuah, your Elohim, as you have tried him in Massa. So he's saying, you've tried me already, don't try me again. But we as people, we cannot hear. When we look at so many things that are created today, Mishpachah, we created it. It came from this imagination. It came from, in the beginning where it says, let us create man in our own image. We were the image that was created by him. So what he created, which is the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, the waters, everything we see, we are a form of him, which means we can create similar to him. He's given us the power to create life. What's more powerful than that? To create life. All these things that we have, these technologies, this is not life. But now he's given us the power to create life. So sometimes we look at technology, we're like, wow, look what we can do. But that's nothing. Creating life is something that is a gift from Abba. And that's something that time to time we forget. And we look as if it's nothing. Diligently guard the commands of Yahuah your Elohim and his witnesses and his laws which he has commanded you, and you shall do what is right and what is good in the eyes of Yahuah. So we live in a society where people want to do what's right, but their right is not the same right as Abba Yahuah. We have a legal system, and we have lawyers, we have judges. But we know that they create laws to benefit themselves. So we live by the legal system and we think that we are righteous. We are very much mistaken. Our righteousness is on another level. And that level is the foundation of what Abba tells us what to do. So that is how we should judge ourselves based on what he's written. Can we say that we are righteous but living righteously in our hearts, in our minds, in how we operate in ourselves, in what we do, in what we say, in what we think? Not according to what other people say or what other people do, but according to Abba Yahuah. And you shall do what is right and the good in the eyes of Yahuah, that it might be well with you. And you shall go in and possess the good land of which Yahuah swore to your fathers, to drive out all your enemies before you, as Yahuah has spoken. When your son asks you in the time to come, saying, what is the meaning of the witness and the laws and the right rulings which Yahuah our Elohim has commanded you? Then you shall say to your son, we were slaves of Pharaoh in Mizraim. And Yahuah brought us out of Mizraim with a strong hand. Mizraim means a land of bondage. So Mizraim is not just Egypt. Mizraim is where we are, land of bondage. Yes, we're free. We're We're not the same as our ancestors 200 years ago when they were enslaved and they were in shackles, but we're still not in the land that Abba Yahuah has promised us. So, in other words, we are in the land of bondage. And he has brought us out from there to bring us in, to give us the land which he swore to our fathers. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these laws, to fear Yahuwah our Elohim for our good, for our good always, to keep us alive as it is today. And it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all this command before Yahuwah Elohim, as he commanded us. So Mishpachah, the reason why we create and we're not able to hold on to what we create as a people is fundamentally is because of our disobedience to Abba Yahuwah. It's because we're not aligned with our Creator. We're not aligned to Him. So why would He give us something that we don't have the capacity to manage? Why would He give us greatness if we're struggling to deal with the simples? So in order for us to keep what we create, we have to go back to the basics. We have to go back to the foundation, which is to keep the commands, his right rulings, the statutes, everything according to what he says. So not only it'll be good for us, but it'll be good for our children, children's children, and for our people. If, Mishpachah, you would see the amount of inventions that our people have created and we don't have a name to it. Most things that are in our houses today was created by us, but no credit goes to us. Most of us don't know that. All we know is the brand that we buy, but we don't know who was creator of that pattern, the idea. So, Mishpachah, if you're not aware of how many things that we as a people have created, maybe you should take some time to go and type in what are some of the inventions that Black people have invented. And you will see the list just continues and continues. We are the greatest inventors there is. But what good is it to be great at inventing things if we cannot maintain it, keep it? What good is it to even have your name for people to remember, but you don't have a relationship with the Creator? So Mishpachah, we read the Shema every week, but I wanted to go down further so you can see what the promise that the Most High has given us. And the Shema is for us to hear and do with our hands. Hands is a form of action. It's to do. So let us do as we hear. Because you have two words. You have hearing and listening. Some of us are hard of hearing. Listening means you're hearing, but you're intensively listening to see what the person is saying, to analyze what they're saying and thinking, okay. So a lot of us, we need to learn to listen and to take action. And I wanted to remind us that we as a people, we're not the bottom of the totem pole. We're not just someone, just a type of people that just came to be. In the 1400s backwards, we ruled this earth that we see today. They've only been ruling for a very short period of time. And I'm not saying as if it's a war or it's a race. No, it's not. But we do know that since they've taken over, they've not done a good job. We do know that since they've come in power, they've destroyed this world in every aspect, and every fabric of our reality has been destroyed. Now today they want to control us. They give us convenience and they take away our privacy. They want to create a one world system where we will worship them. So it's not about who's better. It is about who the mantle, who the baton was given to, and how we are supposed to be the light upon the hill, and how we are supposed to be the light to the earth, and how we're supposed to be the salt to season it. Most people who listen to music, whether it's country music, jazz, whether it's hip hop, R&B, whatever type of music we listen to today, comes from us. Comes from us. Rock and roll, whatever you want to look at it. Not the rock and roll that we see today, but rock and roll just means to rock and roll. That's what it means. So we season everybody, but now, Mishpachah, we need to season them with the word of Abba Yahuah to teach the people who we are as a people and the commandments of what he promised us. So we've seasoned the world with entertainment, with ideas and inventions. Now we need to season them with the word that comes from the Creator, Abba Yahuah. We need to season them. So once that word enters them as a seed, it shall blossom and it shall produce life. And that's when we shall have life more abundantly. And we shall have rivers of flowing waters. So, Mishpachah, let us pick up the mantle that Abba has given us, as difficult, as draining, as overwhelming as it may be. Whether you take half a step, a full step, 2 steps, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we're going forward and we're pressing forward. Everyone has their journey. Everyone has a mission that is given upon their hearts. Some know it, some don't. It all shall be revealed to us. But as soon as we know it, let's press forward. And not only have inventions of ideas to make things better, but let's give them, as crazy as it may sound, let's impregnate them with the word of Yahuah. So why? What does it mean? It's the same as a seed. The seed goes in to the soil so it can germinate and it can blossom and it can grow. Just like you see this plant, one time it was a seed, and now it's blossomed and it's grown. And that's what we do there. We're there to put the seed there, and Abba, through the Ruach HaKodesh, through his word, through people, shall water it bit by bit. And eventually it shall blossom to become something amazing.